Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. Who you got, knuckleheads? Welcome to the Fighters Rep, where we give you free fights, interviews in the fight game, and fight commentary from the mind of a lawyer/attorney. You know, this is, I think, one of the most fantastic, most anticipated fights, especially in the middleweight division. I would say since at least when Anderson Silva fought Chris Weidman. I mean, that's the excitement I'm feeling for this fight. The clash of styles in this one is even more tremendous than in that one. And it's going down on Fight Island. You've got two international superstars. It's going down in an international location in Abu Dhabi. And just a fantastic fight. I mean, the UFC, I got to give them credit for this. Once again, putting together not only a hell of a card, but a hell of a fight where the best, once again, fight the best. Adesanya, Paulo Costa, these are number one and number two in the division. And I want to know who you guys got in this one because, man, my head's been going back and forth with this fight all day. I feel like Israel Adesanya, the longer, slimmer, probably less physical, but more technically sound guy with the sniper precision accuracy, the more technical striker, versed in the art of kickboxing prior to coming into MMA, more experience, more fights in MMA. And then you've got the bulldozer, Paulo Costa, a guy who a little bit less sharp as far as his technique goes, but an absolute powerhouse, man. Just comes forward, aggressive, has a few less fights, but more physical. These guys are almost, in my opinion, almost a 50-50 perfect match for each other, and I do think that this fight is going to be a toss-up. A couple things you have to look at for this fight is, you know, how has each guy handled a similar style, right? For me, I look at Israel Adesanya and I kind of got to go back to the Gastelum fight, maybe even back before that to where he fought Wilnis back in Glory. You know, somebody who pressed him and went after him. Adesanya did have difficulties in those situations, but he's also such a versed striker that Paulo Costa's perhaps less educated, aggressive style might play right into his hands. He might set a trap for him, walk him into something nasty, the way he did to Robert Whittaker when he got that middleweight strap. I look at Paulo Costa, you know, and I don't really see anybody on his resume that could honestly compare to Israel Adesanya's striking prowess. I mean, you have Uriah Hall there, which was a pretty good fight, but Costa bowled him over in 2 rounds and basically just broke him apart. I mean, just came forward, punched everything in sight, arms, ribs, shoulders, whatever he can get his fist on, he was landing on, and ended up breaking him down. So, I mean, this is, you know, your ideal clash of fights. You've got a very aggressive guy in Paulo Costa, and you've got a very aggressive counter striker, I believe, in Israel Adesanya. I mean, I feel like even though he may be offensive at times, he's definitely more of a counter striker, as we saw in his fight against Yoel Romero. So this is going to be an exciting one. You know, one thing that's for sure, in my opinion, is I believe Israel Adesanya can hurt and potentially finish Paulo Costa. Potentially. I know Paulo Costa can finish Israel Adesanya because, again, we've seen Kelvin Gastelum take him close to that place, and we've seen in his kickboxing career, his last fight before transitioning to MMA, that a very aggressive Alex Pereira was able to knock Israel Adesanya out. And even though he's an absolute beast, I do feel like Paulo Costa is physical enough to be able to potentially stop Israel Adesanya. So that's or not potentially, but to be able to stop Israel Adesanya. So that's the allure in this fight, right? You got this amazing clash of styles. I feel like they're going to blend. They're going to mesh together wonderfully. I feel like we're going to get a lot of action in this one. I don't think we're going to get the apprehension that we saw from Yoel Romero in his fight. And I'm very excited. You still got, two guys, 31-year-old Israel Adesanya, 29-year-old Paulo Costa, guys that are still kind of on their way up. Perhaps Izzy's priming or entering his prime. You got Costa, who might be close to his prime as well. I think typically guys reach their prime early to mid-30s. So this is exciting, man. Two guys at their prime or close to it, battling for the welterweight, or rather for the middleweight championship of the world on Fight Island. Two international superstars. I feel like everybody's going to tune in. My prediction for this fight, I always got to go 9 times out of 10 unless the, peripheral, the outlying attributes are with the less technical fighter. But I got to go with the more technical guy on this one. I got to go with Israel Adesanya for a few reasons. I think he's more technical. I'm a fan of technique. I think skills pay the bills. Also, he's taller, he's rangier, and he's got more experience, not only in kickboxing, but he's got 6 more MMA fights, and he's been more active, right? He last fought in March, whereas Paulo Costa, I believe, last fought in August of last year. So I like Israel Adesanya in this fight, but like I said, this is a toss-up. This is a 50-50 fight. Knuckleheads, I want to know what you think. I want you to put your prediction below. Let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this fight, because this one is a big one. I mean, this is, I think, the big one. I think this is the big one. Hit the subscribe button, the bell notification icon next to it if you haven't already. Join Knucklehead Nation. And also, get your Fighters Rep gear in the link below, man. We got shirts, hoodies, tanks, masks, whatever, anything you purchase gets reinvested right back into the promotion, helping us build the channel and the greatest kickboxing promotion in the world. Don't forget, Israel Adesanya was a former kickboxer, so you're welcome. We love you guys too. Knuckleheads, appreciate your time. I'm out of here.